Sleeping Frog Farms. We started the farm before we had a name, and we started buying materials and things that we needed. And we'd always say, "Oh, the name's not crucial," so we started calling ourselves Not Crucial Farms. And one day, we get this line of irrigation in, and I walk to the front of it and make sure it's not leaking, everything's pressure testing right. And this frog just comes up out of the mud where the irrigation's like drip, drip, drip. I was like, oh, imagine that. So at the end of the day, we get everything done, and Adam goes check the last line. Another frog just comes right up, and we're like, Sleeping Frog Farms, and it kind of stuck. If we're trying to take the scientific method of, of sustainable, for whatever that meaning means to other people, for us it means we're fixing the land and making it better than we got there, and getting as much food per water as we possibly can. Now, if that means that plant is, say it's something that's got a week or two left on it, it's looking bad, we won't even spray it with this really, really natural flower extract. We'll just pull it and feed it to the chickens. I mean, at that point, it's not worth the money and the time that we could be growing other things for our customers, our clients, when we could just pull it and throw it. So that's kind of like our basic background into that. And there's a lot of other variables, but to keep it simple, we're really just trying to feed the plants exactly what they need from the get-go. So what we've done is taken that next step. It's Japanese technology, Imro, which actually the U.S. base of it is here in Tucson. Our buddy Eric, it's Terraganics, and we take those 7 different microbes in a certain blend and spray out everything that we're going to put in our field with it. Let the microbes eat it up and compost it completely, so there's zero pathogens, zero weed seeds, and then we incorporate that into our existing, organic methods. Packaging baby lettuce, and all of this purple and green is our artichokes. So each CSA has its own column on this action board, and the 2 days before market, we just roll on everything there, fill it up, check it off, and when it's packed in the truck, circle it.
Community supported agriculture, and it's a program that started in Japan as a way to preserve family farms and small kind of local farms. As farms were going out of business, communities started stepping up, and in order to try and keep the farms alive, we're giving the farmers money in advance of the season starting, so that they had their labor and their seed costs covered and kind of budgeted. And then the way that it works for the customers is that they, once the season does start, they get a weekly delivery of vegetables, and it's kind of like a mix of what's being harvested. And so we do a few different farmers markets and per week, and a few different CSA pickups throughout the week also. So we'll haul it in, we distribute it, and the co-op is actually the only retail outlet that we have right now, as far as or the one that we wholesale to, and then they resell our stuff. Otherwise, it's all direct marketed, either to restaurants or through the CSA or the farmers market.
So Savano is a school in Tucson down Houghton. So that first column is that CSA. The second one is for the co-op, specifically what they need that they can't source from other local people just yet. Food Conspiracy, on the far side of the board, there's Primo, the restaurant. They have just a ridiculous amount of CSA shares. As a kid, I sat down with my grandpa and I was like, I want to feed people one day. And he's like, how many people you want to feed? And I was like, well, what's a lot? And he says, 100's a lot. And I was like, well, how many people's in a castle? And he says, it's 100 hundredths. And I was like, that's what I want to do. And so, yeah, I mean, seriously, it's a childish dream, but the best way I possibly can, the cleanest possible I can, and with the people that I feel like appreciate not only the sacrifices we're doing without having to constantly say it, where it's like, oh, look at what I'm doing for me. No, I choose this. But I really want to get to that point where we can feed, at the very least, 1,000 families. And CSA, great, market, great, restaurants, wonderful. But to directly affect 1,000 families and change their life through really good food that you don't find anymore. Pick the day before when possible. that's, that's kind of the dream. I mean, it's like if I get to be outside hanging out with my friends and talking to, interesting people that come in just curious about what we're doing. I mean, that's life. That's living it.